What's the feeling? I mean, when I entered, I saw the tricolor of flying here. It was written Ajith Kumar Racing Company. I'm not sure we've ever seen the tricolor at this kind of motor racing event. So, is that the intention? Is that the idea of starting all this, of doing all this?
To be honest, I'm pursuing something which I love dearly. So I wouldn't want to sound pompous by saying, oh, I'm trying to do something for the sport. I am pursuing something that I very dearly love. And in the process, if it reaches out to people and people start following the sport, it's good for the sport. And since you mentioned the tricolor, Naren Karthikeyan, Karun Chandok, Jahan Daruwala, Khush Maini, they have all raised the Indian flags on podiums in different series. So I'm not the first, but yes, it is a proud moment when you see the Indian tricolor in the pits or on the podium. It's a wonderful feeling. It's very overwhelming.
There's a lot of space for India to grow also in motorsport. I think that's largely the reality in many sports in India, that it doesn't get the focus that it needs to. Do you think that's the case for motorsport as well, that it needs a lot more attention? The spotlight needs to be on it for people to know that this is something that's an option for them to see.
See, firstly, unfortunately, racing, motorsports is considered glamorous.
It's not?
It isn't anything. I mean, it is anything but glamorous. For example, they think, yeah, it's a rich man's sport. If you look at most of the drivers on the grid in any series, be it Formula One or the World Endurance Championship, any format, 80% of the drivers are struggling to find sponsors. And believe me when I say they're some of the best drivers in the world. So it's all about sponsorship. Now, let us take India for example. It's a country of 1.4 plus billion people. It is wrong for us to expect funding from the government.
Right.
Yeah, because there are so many other important issues for them to deal with.
I'm making a pitch call.
No,
Government is step.
Let me tell you how. Let me. I could be wrong. I don't know. But I'm just telling you what is in my mind. It is wrong for us to expect funding from governments, be it the state government or the central government, because the leaders or the bureaucrats have a lot more, important issues to deal with. But yes, what the governments can do is probably direct the corporates to support the sport, and for the governments to recognize motorsports, give it the recognition that it deserves. Like, once we get the recognition, once it is recognized as not a rich man's sport, but a truly demanding sport. I mean, leave alone the money part, because it takes, logistics. Look, there are about 60 cars on the grid. And, when, for example, to move this whole, the cars, the mechanics from one country to another, logistics, it costs a lot of money. So it's a very, very tough sport. It takes a toll on everything, your personal life. You could hurt yourself. Loss of life, limb. There's so many things involved. So it's anything but glamorous. Believe me when I say that. So what we probably expect is for corporates to come in.
Right.
Now, look at all the automobile manufacturers. Look at our Indian brands. They're doing so well internationally. Be it Tata, Mahindra. I can go on and on. It's when the government recognizes motorsports, always seek us recognition, saying, please recognize the sport.
What do you mean by recognition? Do you kind of want them to publicize it more?
Not exactly. See, again, it's the events that are held in India, not very many.
Yeah.
We have a lot of international national events being conducted, but that alone is not enough. Now, for example, if you look at the same series, Krementik, they also have the Asian series. And this time they have convinced Sepang, Malaysian government, and they are conducting one event at Sepang. So we will have 3 rounds, one in Malaysia, Sepang, one in Dubai, and another one in Abu Dhabi. Now, I am told the uh, the customs duties for bringing these cars or taking these cars back is a little complicated. So if the government can ease the process, we might have one round of the Asian series in India, depending on where the promoters have. I mean, depending on the circuit that they choose. We have circuits in Delhi, the Buddh circuit. We have a circuit in Chennai. We have a racing circuit in Coimbatore. Then Naren Karthikeyan is coming up circuit in Coimbatore again. So, and then I believe there's a circuit coming up in either Bangalore or Hyderabad. So we have the circuits, but we don't have the international events, the one leg of these events coming to India. I think it's due to the customs regulations. So if the government can kind of ease the customs and policies to enable these promoters to bring in their cars or it costs a lot. And in fact, let me tell you, the cost of running an Asian leg, Asian series is a lot more expensive, probably 20-30% more expensive than in Europe. Because all the cars, everything has to be shipped from Europe. So why I say I would love to, now this year I have taken part in the Creventic 24-hour series. They have championships in Asia. And then the GT4, champions. And you have the Le Mans, Asian Le Mans series, which Naren Karthikeyan and me are going to be participating. We have 3 rounds of that series in Asia. Now, if we get support from the government by easing the customs policy, it's on the way. So we either when they begin the Asian series, they would probably have one round in India and then move over to, let's say, Dubai or Dubai, India, Malaysia, and then come back to Abu Dhabi, finish series and go back. So once people start seeing these races live, let me tell you something. No matter how glamorous or how well covered a sport is on television, the television doesn't do justice to the sport unless you're there, you see the speeds that they touch, the smell of burning rubber, the fuel, the whole, you need to experience this firsthand for people to start relating to the sport. Yeah, and then when you start having these championships in India, there are a lot of Indian drivers who are extremely talented but cannot afford to go to Europe to race. So when these promoters start having, run races in India, drivers will be able to find sponsors for that one-off event where they can participate. And you never know, some team may notice them and then induct them into their driver code, they have a program like, driver program, like where they take in youngsters and they train them till they get to the highest level possible in that particular sport. It could be Formula One or whatever. Like, so every manufacturer has a driver program, to develop drivers, a driver development program. So that can happen.
So it opens up so many.
It opens up because then it gives an opportunity for all the Indian drivers to find a sponsor to race in India, in their homeland, in front of their people. Imagine the motivation. Let's say having 50-60,000 people coming to watch you race, that motivates you to do better. There are so many things that can happen. So it is very important for India to start having international races, events come to India, but thereby giving an opportunity for all the Indian drivers to participate and find that sponsor, find that corporate who will be willing to at least sponsor that one-off event. That's enough. It's just that first step that we need. And then probably, like I said, teams will pick them up. A lot of things can happen.